What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Double D Report. It's me and Dean. We're back. Consistent week. I know. Shocking. We haven't done it in like months. Honestly, back-to-back weeks. We struggle with this, but we got it this time. This week, it's going to be jam-packed in a way. We will actually touch base on all sports. Obviously, we have to start off with our picks. And might I say, I had an absolute fucking stinker. Can't say the same for Dean. But Dean, I know you want to start, so you can start.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with my one singular loss of the week. You hear that, Derek? One singular loss. Did that comprehend through your mind?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm going to go into my one singular loss, and this I can confidently say will be the last time this year I take the Miami Dolphins in any sort of capacity whatsoever. I want that to be clear here. I took the Dolphins plus 2.5. Stupid me for thinking they were going to keep it close or even win outright against a Cleveland team that sucks ass, where Dylan Gabriel is your starting quarterback and he only had 116 passing yards. But I was wrong. They wound up losing 31-6. It's miraculous. Mike McDaniel still has a job. Nothing more to say on that.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with my one of many losses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting off in the great spot of London, to where the Jacksonville Jaguars, who might you say consider London their home stadium, because they play there every year, at least twice a year, they got absolutely dog-walked by a no Puka Nacua team. Devontae Adams genuinely shit on their chest and made them eat it. Brian Thomas is the biggest waste of space in the world. You might as well dump a rag in fucking bleach and kill him, because he's not there.
All right, well, let's move on, because Derek's just salty, and that's just mean, all right? Don't judge them. They're people too, Derek.
Yeah.
God. All right, let's continue with my happiness and Derek's sadness. I'm going to go into my first win of the week, right? It was Giants plus 7. I did say outright I thought they were going to be very competitive. I thought the line of plus 7 was honestly very high, considering they beat the Eagles the week prior, right? So I did take the Giants plus 7. That hit with flying colors, right? They were up 19 in the fourth quarter. And then they only wound up losing by 1 to a last-second field goal, so that does cover the spread. Dub, Giants. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to go to another loss. I had faith in the Washington Commanders against the Dallas Cowboys because I thought the Cowboys are fraudulent. I retract my statement of that. The Commanders are fraudulent. I understand no Deebo Samuel, and Jaden Daniels can't stay healthy. He got injured at half, and he said, all right, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. Sat on the bench, and now this bitch is sitting out this week.
All our viewers out there, you sense this depression from Derek? Savor that, because that's what drives me, right? Okay, but we're going to go to my second win of the week. And Derek was pissed about this one, because he didn't like me taking his own team, but I did. I took the Philadelphia Eagles minus 1.5. Personally, like, the Vikings are an okay team, right? They're not going to go anywhere if Carson Wentz continues to be quarterback, right? And he's going to be quarterback again this week while J.J. McCarthy still nurses and coming back from a leg injury. Eagles did win this game 28-22, a little bit closer than I thought it would be. Still, however, winning by 6, covering the 1.5-point spread. Dubski.
I'm going to go with another fucking loss. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to go with a team I had faith in because they've been playing great football. And maybe me picking this killed Mike Evans. But I chose the Bucks plus 5.5 against the Lions. And what I saw this week is the Lions are back. That's what I saw. An absolute massacre on Monday Night Football. Even though the score wasn't massacre-esque, it was pure dominance. Jahmyr Gibbs had 200 all-purpose yards. Amon-Ra owned the first quarter. Goff just did his thing. And Baker Mayfield couldn't throw to a wide-open receiver. And that never happens. Because he had a lot of pressure in his face, and they just got dog-walked. The,
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm taking this in. 0 for 3 on spreads. Wow.
don't gamble,
It's like,
people. Don't gamble.
no, I'm just taking a moment. This is nice. This is really nice. Anyway, I'm going to go to my lock of the week. I went extremely bold this week. I really did, right? Because how our locks work, as everybody knows, it's Survivor-esque, right? So once you pick a team, you cannot pick them for the rest of the year. I took the Carolina Panthers, right? My thought process was, it's the Jets. When would I ever use the Carolina Panthers again this year? Right? It was a big risk because the Jets, this is probably one of their few winnable games in their schedule where I thought they could have squeaked out a win. God, God, thank you, Jets, for sucking ass.
The Jets are going to come back. No, they're not. They're never going to come back. They're never going to come back.
Because they really are pitiful, right? Their offense is so bad that their owner pretty much came out and scalded the entire offense, including Justin Fields. So thank you, New York Jets, for not scoring any points. Carolina won 13-6 here. I am on cloud 9, baby.
I am on no cloud. I am actually on the ground. All right, but after all Dean's happiness, I get a little bit of some of mine with my lock of the week. I chose the Pats against Tennessee Titans, and that actually paid off for me. Because the Pats absolutely dog walked them. Drake May had a 91% completion percentage. That is absurd. The kid is on fire. And in my opinion, hot take, front running for MVP right now. But anyway, that is my my picks. I went 1 for 3 this week. Dean went 3 for 1. But my lock is my and for anyone who didn't watch the last podcast, this podcast counted for 2 points in each game.
It did. We agreed on that.
So we made an agreement. I shit the bed. Dean did not. Now watch. I'm gonna go 4-0 when it doesn't matter, and Dean's gonna go 0-4.
This is a beautiful day. It really is.
It's a horrible day.
I want to take a moment and thank God because we're alive and it's beautiful out and Derek's upset. So I think that's really all the best things that can culminate into one sentence.
I'm gonna, let me shut up. Let's just move on. Let's go to your sadness for a second. I hate you being happy. It doesn't make me happy.
Okay.
So let's go to the New York Football Giants.
Yes, sir.
They were up in a great game. A Jackson Dart led Giants 19-0. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was 19-0 going into the fourth, correct?
19-0 going into the fourth, and then hell struck, and the game has changed. Dean, let's talk about it. I want you to start first.
Sure, and I think you're going to be disappointed here. I'm going to be honest with you because I'm not upset. I'm really not one of those. Look, does it suck to lose in this fashion? Yes, right? We've done this consistently over the last 5 to 6 years where you have a lead going into the fourth at some juncture and you lose it, right? This one stung a little bit more because not only are you up 19-0 going into the fourth, they score 33 points in the fourth to win, right? On top of that, the Giants kicker, who they just released, by the way, missed 2 extra points, which quite literally losing by 1 is the difference in the game. So I'm going to be honest with you here, Derek, and I said this the last few weeks, right? What do I want as a Giants fan this year? This year is lost already. I accepted that. I wanted consistency, and I wanted competitiveness. I got it. I really did. I got everything I could have asked for this week from a Giants team that really has absolutely no aspirations of making the playoffs this year. They really don't. And even if they won this game, they still didn't, right? What you wanted to see was the offense and your rookies continue to take a step, which they did. Giants fans, if you're upset, I get it. There's one thing you got to take from this. Man, it's looking more and more better every week that we found our quarterback, right? I mean, I think that's fair to say in terms of just how the team on and the offense responds around this guy. I mean, his number one wide receiver is Wan'Dale Robinson. No slight to Wan'Dale, but that's who he has on this team. He threw for 283 passing yards, his most as a quarterback this year in the NFL so far. 93 overall quarterback rating. Fantastic. Not to mention he added running less, but 11 yards rushing and a touchdown running and 3 touchdowns passing. 4 total touchdowns, almost 300 total yards. The guy is a stud, and he's continuing to push it. And I loved after the game that he even owned that interception in the fourth.
My feet got a little stuck in the ground. I gotta be way better than that. I mean, that shit's unacceptable. Yeah, I gotta be better.
Right? Said he's got to be better than that. You want to see that accountability in a young rookie. You don't want to see him pass it off to his teammates. He's playing like a pro, and he's acting like a pro that has been in this league forever. I love it. I think it's great. Yes, there are negatives, and you can go into them, Derek, because I know you shit on the Giants and you're an Eagles fan, right? The negatives were obviously you gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. Your defense completely collapsed. I get it. Right? You got to take away the positives because you have to this year. You're not going anywhere. That's just the reality of it. So consistency, competitiveness, I personally loved it. Yes, we lost. It sucks. Get over it. Move forward. Progress.
Trying to get sadness out of you. But I know this next topic, not this one.
Yep.
We will keep on talking about this. This next topic will bring the sadness. I know it will. But
don't be so short.
But anyway, my overall opinion on this game. One, Jackson Dart played great. In my overall, he played phenomenal. He did what he had to do. Obviously, the fourth quarter interception didn't help, but it's good. As a young quarterback, he owned it.
And not to interrupt you, but you do have to mention this was against probably a top 3 defense in the NFL.
I was going to get to that.
I'm just saying.
He did what most teams haven't done, and he put up a lot of points with not their number, with Wan'Dale Robinson as their number one, put up 33 points. They played in the first half. They played very smart football. In the second half, I don't blame it. I blame it on the kicker. Obviously, he missed the 2 PATs because that's the difference in the game. I blame the defense in a way, but not fully, because they were playing phenomenal the whole entire first half and even 6 minutes into the third quarter. But when it gets to a point to where your coach, as a defensive coordinator, isn't changing the scheme and it's just running the same exact plays, he's obviously. You guys have a great defensive line with Sexy Dexy, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter. Great defensive line. Your secondary, it's young. It's not the best. If you don't get that pass rush against a solid quarterback and a couple solid wide receivers, you're going to have a long day. I would say from the first half, what Sean Payne did, as a great coach he is, he's like, all right, you see what they came out in the first half? Let's see how they start the third quarter. And then you see towards the tail end of the third, everything changes. After the pick, the stadium's rock. Colorado is rocking. That atmosphere is crazy. For a rookie, that atmosphere is fucking insane. And he didn't play bad. I'm not saying he played bad. I'm just saying, I overall think, if I were to blame certain people on this team, I'd blame the owner for not fucking playing young Waco. Because you signed the man and you send him to the practice squad. Make that make sense. But mainly is the defensive coordinator. You have to. And you see it in Dable's face during the game. Seeing all them, like, blown coverage, blown this. Cortland Sutton was pretty much getting open every play. Troy Franklin, the one touchdown he had, it was the most crazy touchdown I've ever seen in my life. But you have to, no matter all these things that are happening, you have to bounce back and move on. You can't just let it be in your head. Otherwise, it's going to kill you the rest of the game.
I agree. No, and that's what I've continuously talked about as being a Giants fan, right? This week we're playing again against a very tough team. Once again, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Second time in 3 weeks, back to, defending Super Bowl champions. You quite literally upset them. Maybe the upset of the last 10 years for the Giants, right? And beat them on Thursday Night Football. You have to come out here and play another competitive game. You can't get blown out, because that's a step backwards, right? Dart, just go out there, continue to do your thing. Don't change a thing. Defense has got to be better. That's an understatement, right? Can't let up 33 points in the fourth quarter when you have a 19-0 lead and then a 26-7 lead. You can't do that. You can't let up those types of games because that's what makes your team, that's what makes a good team great and a bad team horrible. So this is where that transitionary period is. You have to get the little things right. So when next year and the year after that, when you are actually contenders, you're there and you can actually put yourself at the top of the list as a Super Bowl contender. But overall, sorry, Derek, you're not going to get sadness out of me on this one.
I tried. I did try.
You do. You do. I give you that, you little bugger. You try.
But maybe, guys, the next topic will bring a little sadness. Not full sadness, but just a little bit. A little dabble. A little salt
Okay.
bay.
All right.
All right. So, obviously, it's football. It is mainly football season from September till February. But some other sports, as in hockey and basketball, kick back into gear. High gear. One sport that we will talk about today is the NHL. Next week, after the Knicks play their game, we will talk about that. But we have to talk about a team who has their goalie pretty much spinning on his head, making saves. And an offense that doesn't seem... It seems like it's just Igor out there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
To where it took them... Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 3 home games for them to score a goal?
3 home games and 52 seconds.
Okay, yeah. To score a goal in Madison Square Garden, which is one of the highest grossing stadiums in all of sports, correct?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the Rangers, Dean. How do you feel about the way they're starting off the season? What do they need to do? I understand it is only like the first couple weeks of hockey, but we have to talk about him. And opinion on Igor this year so far.
Absolutely. So I'm going to spit a lot of good information at you, Derek. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Yes, it's not an ideal start to the season, right? You're 8 games in, you're 3-4-1, definitely not where you want to be. Some of those games were definitely winnable, to your point, because Igor has had an unbelievable start to the year, right? First 3 home games of the year, not scoring a single goal. We were 7 minutes away in the 4th game before breaking the 1928 Pittsburgh Penguins record of consecutive time at home without scoring a goal to start the season. Thankfully, that didn't come to fruition. Artemi Panarin did score the first goal of the year on home ice 50 seconds into the game. We still lost that game, by the way. But it's definitely, look, not an ideal start to the year. I don't think anybody can deny that. There are a few intangibles that you can look at, right? It is a new coach. It's an entire new coaching staff. So it does take some time to adjust to the schemes, both defensively and offensively. However, you will not make me sad, Derek. There are a lot of stats that I'm going to give you as to why the Rangers should not be as discouraged as maybe fans want them to be, right? Yes, you are 3-4-1. Nobody wants to be under 500 8 games into the year, right? Nobody. That's just the fact of the matter. However, gonna throw some at you. Number 1 goalie in the league on goals saved above expected, Igor Shesterkin. Right? He has saved 8.9 goals above what is expected of him so far this year. So what that's telling me is vintage Igor, right? Vezina Trophy winning Igor is here. If he can continue to do this, they will score for him. I promise you, Derek, right? Just to give you how crazy Igor's season is so far, he has played in 6 games. He has allowed 7 goals, Derek.
Pretty good hockey.
That's more than pretty good fucking hockey. He has a 957 save percentage so far. A 1.17 goals against average. This guy is quite literally on the best goaltender in the world right now, right? So if he continues to do these games, the Rangers are going to win games. That's just the fact of the matter. They will start to score for him if he continues to let up 2 or less goals a game, which he has proven to done so far this year. It's obviously easier said than done, so we'll see how they do. Maybe we can revisit that in a week or two to see if he's still on par. But that's one thing that you should at least be happy about. 2, this needs to be said, right? Because a lot of people are looking at the scoring, right? Igor has had such a great year, and the Rangers have not scored for him as of yet. Definitely a problem. No doubt about it whatsoever. However, the New York Rangers, in terms of expected goals for this year, are third in the National Hockey League, Derek. Let me repeat that one more time. In terms of statistics, looking at expected goals for a team based on their shot selection, third in the NHL. Has that actually played into games? No. Right? You can look at it in a couple of different ways. One, goaltenders against us are standing on their head and having all-time performances. Sure, credit to them. Good for them, right? You can look at unlucky bounces. A lot of crossbar hits. A lot of side post hits. These things happen to start a year, right? They're still moving. They're still going. Also, you can look at it this way. On the defensive side of the ball, right? Expected goals against, we are top 10 in the National Hockey League in allowing the least expected goals, according to statistics. So basically, our goals against for are top 3 in the league. Our goals against for are top 10 in the league. Our goals for are top 3 in the league. Those are statistics that you can't just overlook.
The foolishness of that comment is so deep, I can only ascribe it to higher education. You have to have gone to college to say something that stupid.
So, yes, bad start to the year in terms of your win-loss. So many other good things to look at. There really are, right? So what I would urge the Rangers to do moving forward is don't change a thing. Clean up some of the games, start maybe actually scoring some power play goals because they're getting so many chances. I believe they're top 5 in the league in shots on goal during power plays. So eventually, law of averages, right? Some of those are going to start to go in. We're top 3 in the league in power plays against, right, in penalty kills. So we don't allow goals when other teams get power plays on us. There are so many good statistics. There are so many good intangibles to look at with this Rangers team. I just need to urge fans to calm down. It sucks to lose. I get it. Trust the course. They're still learning under a new coaching staff. Just do the same as you're doing and maybe start putting the puck in the net a little bit more.
My opinion on your take, I just think this is all cope.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
But hey, what do I know? But I want to ask one question to you. And it's focused on you guys not scoring goals. You're the head coach, and you need to do one thing, as in change the lines. What are you doing to change the lines to affect are you changing their power play unit? Are you changing line 1, line 3? What are you doing?
So, first and foremost, because of all the stats I said, I would not change the lines as of yet. And Coach Sullivan has not, right? Look, there are analytics departments that are much better funded, that are much more intelligent than I am. And I'm seeing these stats on the internet, so I'm sure they're seeing them as well, right? It sucks to not score goals in the beginning of the year. There are a lot of things to account for that. Like I said, puck luck, goaltenders making unbelievable saves against us. Maybe you should be taking this shot instead of passing. Maybe you should be passing and taking this shot. They know all these things, right? So this early in the year under a new coaching regime, I would not be so drastic and change the lines right away. There are a few things that you can tweak, right? For starters, your power play unit is not the one you were practicing with all offseason. Right, Vincent Trocheck got put on LTIR, so he's at least out for 15 days, probably more. Right, he's going to be out at least 5-10 games, and he's on the power play one. So you're having Alexei Lafreniere slot in there. Trocheck will definitely slot in there again once he comes back, but that's just an intangible that you have to practice more a little bit, right? And then on top of that, you do have some rookies on this team, right? You're still working them in. Like Noah Laba, our third line center, right? He has been very good. He's still working around that NHL area, right? You can definitely mix and match some players, right? I think Juuso Parssinen on the third line will probably not be a Ranger in the next month or two. I think they're going to bring up their top prospect, Gabe Perreault, eventually to maybe bring a spark, maybe bring some more speed into the game. But to be honest, I really wouldn't change a ton to start this year, especially because there's so many lines that are playing good, right? The fourth line in particular, which has been absolutely fucking outstanding with Matthew Rempe, Edstrom, and Carrick, right? Everybody likes to mock Rempe and Edstrom because they're 6'7" and, oh, they're just fighters. But they're more than that, right? They're skating well, they're defending well, they're actually doing the right things, and it's working. So there's no reason to hit the panic button yet. There really isn't, right? Now, in a month from now, if we're 5-10 games under 500, yes. You start hitting the panic button. You start maybe changing some lines, maybe bringing up some rookies, maybe consider, switching the power play units to your point, Derek. But for now, I'd say give it at least at the very minimum, another 2-3 weeks with this rotation, with these players, just seeing if you can gain some momentum in some of these games.
All right. That damn it, I didn't get sadness out of you. This hurts me.
And look, it is, to your point, exactly what you said earlier. It's so early in the year, right? Most teams are only 6, 7, 8 games into this hockey season. So you look at a lot of these stats that I just gave you. Yes, while they look good on paper for the Rangers, they look bad for other teams, right? Expected goals for in the National Hockey League, Winnipeg and Dallas are last in the league and second to last in the league. And yet Winnipeg and Dallas right now, Dallas is 500, but Winnipeg is 5-1. So things don't always go to statistics, as the Rangers are showing, as some of the top teams in the league are showing. You just hope in the Rangers situation, with how good their stats look, that the law of averages come into play and that these pucks actually start going into the net.
That's fair. And I do want to bring up one other topic besides the Rangers. So can't just talk about the Rangers. But if there is a specific team to start off the year, you watch a lot of hockey. I'm starting to get into it slowly but surely. Is there one team that some people who like to watch hockey should look at and be like, this is a good team to watch this year? In your humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, 2 good teams to watch, or just 2 good teams that have a chance at making it all the way? Which one do you want from me?
I'll take both, if possible.
Okay, 2 teams to watch, right? One of them, absolutely, the New Jersey Devils. My God, are they fast? They score the puck like better than any other team in the National Hockey League, right? When you have Jack Hughes, when you have Nico Hischier, when you have all of these high-profile players running at full speed, they are one of the most prolific teams to watch in the National Hockey League. They're fast, they're speedy. There are no boring games when it comes with the Devils because they're constantly scoring. Definitely a team to watch. If you're coming into hockey and you want to watch high offense, high energy games, watch the New Jersey Devils, right? On the flip side of that, a team that started off really good and a team that I think could at the very least, make a playoff run just because of how good they look and at least how good they ended last year, the Detroit Red Wings. I am a huge fan of this team, right? They have some really good players. Dylan Larkin, maybe one of the best centers in the National Hockey League, already has 11 points in 6 games, 5 goals, 6 assists. Unbelievable. You have a good mix of young players and old players, like the older ones, Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane, right? 6 and 5 points respectively. But then you have some of the younger ones that you signed, such as, Lucas Raymond, right? One of the best young winners in the National Hockey League. They just have a very good, cohesive, well-rounded team. Starting 5-1, right? And I don't mean to pick teams that just started really good. But then when you look at from a statistics standpoint, they're top 10 in the NHL in a lot of these categories that I've been mentioning as well, right? So they're just a very good, well-rounded team. fun to watch, maybe, not the most fun to watch, like the Devils, for example, but they're definitely up there. And then just as a bonus one, because I think, our viewers deserve this, one of the other teams that if you're looking to get into hockey and you want to watch just unreal play, you got to watch the Colorado Avalanche, right? They're similar to the Devils, where their speed, their energy is just some of the most prolific in the NHL. Good luck stopping them on defense. They go, fucking Nathan McKinnon runs right through you. Cale Makar, one of the best defensive players in the league, and this is even with losing one of the best offensive players in the league in Rantanen last year. So they're another team that you should definitely watch. They're a Stanley Cup contender before the year even started, but these are just a few of the ones that come off the top of my head.
And people, this is not the end of hockey. We are going to be talking about it a lot. Because there's obviously, as games goes on, injuries will happen. Gotta talk about that. Gotta talk about the Rangers. Evidently, by midway through the season, I'm gonna hop on a bandwagon of a team and hope they win. I'm kidding.
Well, if you're serious about being a hockey fan, Derek, and I know we were talking about this off camera, I know you were looking into the Kraken. You can also choose an expansion team such as
Utah Mammoth.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's definitely opportunities for new fans to get into the game because there have been expansion teams over the last few years.
Which I do like about hockey is that they are bringing in expansion teams. Because, like, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, before the first one they brought in was Vegas.
So, I mean, look, you can look across the league where expansion teams have been, right? The most prolific one was probably the early 2000s with the Carolina Hurricanes, going from the Atlanta Thrashers. But then, yes, right, in this latest wave, per se, of expansion teams, started with Vegas, then went to Seattle, and then now into Utah. And the NHL has done a great job with it, right? These are all markets that are huge sports towns, and so the expansion was so needed for the game, right? In order to get eyes on the game, and it has worked to perfection.
Yes, it had. They've done very well with it, which I gotta commend hockey for. Which they also do a lot of other things well. I would say overall the way hockey is being run is run better than most sports. That's all I would say.
Yep.
But now we gotta move on from hockey, and as I said, we gotta go to another sport because it has reached the World Series.
It has.
And one thing, if you didn't know, Dean, is that each of us got one team in kind of as what happened with college football playoffs. We each had a team in the championship game. And this time, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. I said they were going to make it to a World Series because the way they were playing this year, I just didn't think that the team in the AL would stop. I was 100% right. With them absolutely going nuclear in the Rogers Center, and that went berserk. And then on the other side, the Dodgers, which is an easy one that you picked. But anyway, Going into this World Series, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be a blowout series, or do you think it will genuinely be a close series?
So there are ways to look at this, right? First and foremost, the Dodgers are just the Dodgers, man. The offense is unreal. The pitching has been unstoppable this entire postseason, right? With Blake Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, even Sasaki coming out of the bullpen. Their team is completely stacked from top to bottom until you get to the relief pitching. But their starting pitching has allowed them to go deep into games, so they don't need as much relief pitching as maybe in years past. Then you look at the other side of it, right, with the Toronto Blue Jays, and we talked about this earlier in the playoffs. This is a team that doesn't strike out. This is a team that puts ball in play, a lot of contact hitting, which is what you need, especially against good pitching come playoff time. And their pitching has overperformed. Right? They've gotten pitching in places that maybe they shouldn't have. Max Scherzer giving them an absolutely phenomenal start against Seattle. Their young rookie kid who was Strange, who has just been unbelievable, right, this postseason, and he's going to be unbelievable for years to come. Even Gossman giving them good starts. So it should be on paper a very good matchup because it is quite literally David versus Goliath. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Toronto, who hasn't made it to a World Series in so long, whereas the Dodgers are quite literally the juggernaut of the Major League Baseball. So it should be a good game. It should be a good series on paper. I do want to hear your thoughts before I give my prediction or my hope at least. But yeah.
Okay. So first thing is fuck the Dodgers manager for what he said after the game. I have to say that this motherfucker says something along the lines of, people say that Dodgers ruin baseball. Just wait until this.
I'll tell you, before this season started, they said the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Let's get 4 more wins and really ruin baseball.
I don't know exactly what he said. Just wait until the World Series or something like that. Wait 4 more games and we're going to ruin baseball. So he evidently predicted a sweep. Which, fuck you, by the way. I hate that motherfucker. But, going on. The Dodgers, you're 100% right. They've been pitching phenomenal. Their star player, Shohei Ohtani, is doing his thing. All these other players surrounded around him. Teoscar, Freddie Freeman. Jesus Christ, their team is so... Let's just say every player on their team is producing the way they should. When you go on the AL side, that team refuses to give up. They were down 3-2 against Seattle, who were a hot team. They took down, I would say, Detroit, who had a better pitching staff than them. Would you say Detroit had a better pitching staff than...
No. It's tough to say. Well, one, they didn't play each other, but two, it's tough to say only because the Detroit Tigers have the best pitcher in the world. But after that, they didn't have a ton.
But the thing is all right, let's just say this. The Blue Jays overall have been playing as a team, great baseball.
They have.
On the offensive aspect, they're hitting the ball like a motherfucker. They refuse to strike out. They're looking at right pitches. And this upcoming series, it's going to be a massive game changer when you're going against Yamamoto, fucking Ohtani. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe Ohtani's pitching game. He might be.
Oh, he's probably pitching game 1 or 2. No, game 1, I believe, is going to be Snell. Game 2 is supposed to be Yamamoto.
And then game 3 will be Ohtani then, probably.
Game 3 will most likely be Ohtani or Glass now. We'll see.
Yeah, but when you look at like this, the Dodgers are pitching well. You hit the relief pitching. That's where you get your runs. And the standpoint of the Blue Jays, if they get men on base, right? And no one's scoring. When that relief pitching comes in, when you get those people on base, it's going to be, all right, we could get people on base and now we got to score them. We don't want to leave runners in scoring position against this monster of a team. On one side, you're 100% right, David versus Goliath. If you look at the team side to side, the Dodgers are the way better team. But by the way the playoffs has been going, it could sway someone.
Well, the rule of thumb here is it really in any sport, once you make it to a finals, you can put everything, you can throw it all in the trash, right? When 2 teams make it to the finals, very rarely do you get a lopsided finals that, not, for example, like a team shouldn't have been there, right? You could maybe make that argument for the NBA last year where Indiana probably shouldn't be there. But most of the time, when 2 teams make a finals, you can flip a coin and say either team is going to win. And I think that's especially true in baseball, just because of how long of a grind the season is. And once a team gets hot, anything can happen. And that's a perfect example for 2 teams that make the World Series, especially on the Blue Jays side of things.
Yeah. But what we're going to do, I'm going to say my prediction first, and then you'll give yours. Because overall, this series, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a better series than most people think it's going to be. I think that this series will go to 6 games.
Okay.
And in these 6 games, in game 1, I'm going to break it down because I want to make it a little anticlimactic. Game 1, Dodgers. Game 2, Blue Jays. Game 3, Blue Jays. Game 4, Dodgers. Going into game 5, the Blue Jays win. then I believe Game 6, if they win, because I don't know how it works in baseball, but I believe Game 6 would be in.
Could be in Toronto.
It would be in Toronto, and in Toronto.
No, because I'm pretty sure the Blue Jays are home.
They are because they're the 1 seed.
So it would be Dodgers in Game 6.
Oh, it's not, because I'm thinking, what sport is it to where it's the Pro Bowl for the home team? I'm thinking of no. Listen to me. I'm thinking of if the AL wins, they get home field advantage throughout, or the NL wins. I thought no.
That's not how it works anymore, even in the Pro Bowl.
I swear, I believe that's still how it works.
No.
All right, whatever. Anyway, I do think the Dodgers will lose the series. I think the Toronto Blue Jays will fall off an upset and win in 6 games.
Very nice, Derek. I'm gonna let my heart speak on my prediction because I want what I'm about to say to happen, so I'm gonna predict it. I predict the Dodgers sweep them.
Why?
In 4 games. And I want it to happen more than anything in the world. I think the Dodgers are the better team, lineup-wise. I think they're the better team, starting pitching-wise. Sure, relief pitching. Blue Jays, you can say, maybe have a slight edge. I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Dodgers are going to absolutely destroy them. And I will be a happy camper because I hate the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh my God, he's so salty.
That's fair to say. This is not considering biased or anything because you're a Yankee fan, right?
It's completely biased. And that's why I said it's because I want it to happen, right? If I choose a more realistic approach where I think I want to actually take statistics into it, right? Look into it from, perspective of starting pitching, batting average, all that good stuff, ERA in the playoffs, I'll take Dodgers in 5 games.
So it's a 1-game difference.
Yeah.
So am I psychotic for thinking the Blue Jays have a chance?
No, absolutely not. I think you're very much on par with how baseball should be. And the fact of the matter and the reality of the situation is, as long as the Blue Jays lineup doesn't disappear and they continue to do what they do, not striking out, get the ball in play, this series should go 6 or 7. It should. However, it is the Los Angeles Dodgers who are by far the best team in the Major League Baseball, and they continue to prove that. So it's tough to It's tough to bet against them.
One last thing that I want to ask about the World Series: do you think for the Dodgers going into Toronto, that atmosphere that's going to be in Toronto, do you think that could play a factor into those games?
No,
you do not think so. You don't think, because in some sports it does affect the atmosphere, especially in these big games. You don't think it's going to affect at all?
No.
Okay.
I truly don't. I think the Dodgers have got into hostile environments before, right? Went into Philly, kicked the shit out of them. Last year went into the Yankee Stadium, won on their home field, right? So, and that's with, Yankee fans. They scream anything they want. Right, so there's racial slurs being thrown out there against Ohtani. There's cans being like that. This is it, right? Yes, Rogers Center is a unbelievable atmosphere, one of the best in the major leagues, especially when the Blue Jays are good. I don't think it's a factor at all. I really don't. Not for this team that's so experienced in the playoffs from top to bottom and who has already won a World Series.
Yeah, that's fair. I honestly think it will. Because from what I've seen in this entire playoffs, the games that are played at home are completely different than their games that are played at away. So I feel like they're playing better, and the teams are playing a lot worse. But hey, that's just my opinion, and that's obviously your opinion. And you said, correct me if I'm wrong, 4-0 Dodgers.
My generalized prediction is yes, a nice clean sweep.
Okay. Now, guys, we have to put this aside. We will go game by game. Well, ideally speaking, next time you'll see us, it'll probably be game 2 or game 3 will be going on. But we will be talking about the World Series until the World Series concludes, and then we'll be putting baseball to the side. But now we gotta start from the beginning because I have something for you guys today. I know it's shocking, but cue the mailbag intro.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter.
Wonder who it's from.
Now, guys, it's shocking. I never had mailbags for you guys. Normally, it's Dean asking me questions. But for once, I have one from a great fan. Dean, you have to get ready for this because this might hurt you a little bit. All right. From the great Deborah, a female fan. It's great to have those. Deborah from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, wants to ask, what is the difference between the Giants' Daniel Jones and the Colts' Daniel Jones? Why is he playing like an MVP candidate? So what do you think is the difference between the two, Dean? Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. That's very nice of you to stick a little knife in and twist it. So I've put actually together a very elaborate answer for this. Do you want me to go first?
Of course. That's
okay. So I think the answer to this is threefold. First and foremost, and I think this is probably the most important aspect of it, right, is offensive line. I think it goes without saying, and I have stats to back it up, it goes without saying that the Giants' offensive line and the Indianapolis Colts' offensive lines are on completely opposite ends of the spectrum, right? So, to give stats to back that up, since 2017, and keep in mind, Daniel Jones joined a little bit later after 2017, but from 2017 to last year, when Daniel Jones was effectively, released from the team, the Giants have ranked in PBWR, and just for anybody who doesn't know that, pass block win rate is what that stands for, and pass block win rate, just to give you a high-level overview of what that means, is how often the offensive linemen are winning in pass block situations against defensive ends coming at them, right? The Giants have ranked, and I quote, we'll start from 2017 upward, 31st, 30th, 32nd, 28th, 29th, 28th, and one time they were in the top 15, 12. So almost every year out of the last 8 years, we have ranked bottom third in the league in offensive line play. Bottom 3 in the league, Derek.
That's ass.
That's beyond ass. And not to mention it being beyond ass, they clearly haven't even fixed it.
Yeah.
Nothing. There has been no improvement over the years, which is even more astonishing. And on the flip side of it, because I did say that I had, quantifiable statistics on this, the Indianapolis Colts, according to PFF rankings, which I know Derek knows, but for anybody who doesn't know, they look into advanced blocking statistics and advanced statistics for all NFL players and teams. The Indianapolis Colts offensive line ranks number 1 in the league. They have the number 1 ranked left guard in Quentin Nelson. They have the number 2 ranked center in Bartolini. And they have then 2 other offensive linemen ranked in the top 20 in the league. So I think that is one of the most point blank, you can't even debate it, major statistic as to why Daniel Jones is thriving, right, under this offense in Indianapolis. And I think that's really the truth of the matter, right? And you could see it too, and I'm not comparing the two because Barkley had some good years with us too, and Barkley is a great running back with Daniel Jones, but you can see what Jonathan Taylor's doing this year as well, right? The guy is a fucking menace. He has gaping wide holes in his offensive line where he's rushing for over 100 yards a game. And you know for a fact, Eric, because the Eagles are one of those teams, when a running back is doing that well, it takes that much pressure off the quarterback.
100%.
Number 2. Thank you. Number 2. It's not extensively better, but it's better. The weapons on each teams, right? To give you an idea, we're gonna call Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley a wash. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah. That's fair.
Okay. Looking elsewhere, the Giants had one playoff run with Daniel Jones, coincidentally, where they started 6-1. Look away, Colts fans. They started 6-1. They made the playoffs. They won their first playoff game. They lost to the Eagles, right? That year, Derek, can you take a guess as to who their number one wide receiver was?
Darius Slayton.
No, not that easy.
That's Isaiah Hodgins.
You are correct. You know where Isaiah Hodgins is right now?
Free agent.
Not on an NFL team.
CFL.
He's on a practice squad.
That's fair. He's still in the NFL.
So that's just one side of it, right? On the Colts, I'm not saying these receivers and I'm not saying these weapons are unbelievable, right? But Michael Pittman is better than any receiver Daniel Jones had during his tenure as a New York Giant. I don't know how you can debate that. Unless you want to count the last year with Neighbors, but he was a rookie.
I wouldn't even say Neighbors because because correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel Jones got Sterling Shepard in his younger years in his healthy year. I think you can't discredit Sterling Shepard's time with the Giants like in the beginning before his body gave out.
I'm not discrediting it, but Michael Pittman is a significantly better receiver than Sterling Shepard, Derek.
I wouldn't say significant. I think he is, but I don't think it's significant.
And not to mention, Sterling Shepard was consistently injured during his time as a Giant.
All right.
Whatever, we can move on, right? But then you go to Downs, who is a very good wide receiver, too, for the Indianapolis Colts, and they just straight up drafted one of the best rookie tight ends the best rookie tight end in the league, top 5 tight end in the league currently in Warren.
Dallas Clark.
So they have been significantly better, right? His weapons, right? I still say my number one point is above and beyond the reason why he's doing this great, right? And I gave the statistics for that. Number 3, and I think this is a little nitpicky on my end, but I think it's very true. You have to look at strength of schedule. You really do. Especially in today's NFL age. The Indianapolis Colts came into this year with the 6th easiest strength of schedule, and that's including some of the other bad teams in the league who have had a horrid, one of the best strengths of schedules: the New Orleans Saints, the Tennessee Titans, the Carolina Panthers, the Cardinals, the Jets. So the Indianapolis Colts are right there with them in terms of strength and schedule. And then you can even go deeper into that strength of schedule point that I'm making, right? Into looking into the teams that they've beaten so far. The Miami Dolphins. The Tennessee Titans. Garbage. The Arizona Cardinals without Kyler Murray. Garbage. The Las Vegas Raiders. Garbage, right? And it's only going to get easier from here where they play the Titans again this upcoming week. Later in the year, they got still 2 more against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who the jury's still out on them. So strength of schedule so far is a huge factor. And those, Deborah from Scotch Plains, are my 3 points as to why Daniel Jones is doing significantly better this year than he was the previous years as a New York Giant.
It's a great, thorough answer. And I do agree with you on mostly everything. Actually, everything. But you didn't touch on one point. To one reason why he's not the same. Well, it's not the same. And this is the main factor. He is not a New York Giant. The reason by me saying this is this.
Dick.
No. It's not me throwing any shots at him. When Daniel Jones got drafted, the first round, 8th pick. He got drafted first round, 6th pick. Even worse. More money you guys had to pay him. Anyway, so he got drafted and was backing up one of the best Giants quarterback of all time, Eli Manning. He was backing him up, and when Eli went out, Daniel Jones took over and had a monster game. That was a lot of pressure this fucking motherfucker had. When you get drafted that early, you have a lot of people looking at you at this high of a stature. Now, with the Indianapolis Colts, he was going in, I got the money, I got good money, and I'm a backup for Anthony Richardson, which is what he thought. Just for him to absolute dog walk Anthony Richardson for the starting quarterback job, which no one expected, and now he's the leader of a team who, as you said, who has an easy schedule this year, who now, on his 1-year contract, could be like, all right, look how good I did with this team this year. Look at the numbers I'm putting up. I want this amount of money. It's the revival of that draft class in a way. Because I think Sam Darnold was drafted in that draft class too, or it could be a little earlier than that. I don't fully know.
That's a great question. I can look it up really quick. So Kyler Murray was 1.01, by the way, in that draft. Not looking good for your point.
No.
Daniel Jones was 6. After DJ was... Geez, who was the next quarterback?
Haskins.
Wow, there was not another quarterback in the first round. That's how pathetic they were. Holy shit. Who was the first quarterback in round 2? Jesus Christ.
I think you're...
Oh my God. This was one of the worst quarterback draft classes ever.
What was this, 2019?
19.
Right. Okay. Well,
I can't find where another quarterback is. Holy shit.
All right, but anyway, what I'm saying is the resurgence of quarterbacks who struggles with
Ryan Finley.
Jesus Christ.
My God. Have mercy. No wonder why the Giants suck. Jesus Christ.
You guys should have just waited that year. Because I think the skill positions were so good that year.
Oh my God, you're right. It was Dwayne Haskins. That's just, oh wow. Wow.
All right.
Wow. I have no words.
All right, but anyway, it's the resurgence of all these quarterbacks who didn't do well with their first team and are doing better with their second team. Well, they're third. Some people third. Daniel Jones, he was on the Giants, went to the Vikings, literally didn't play a snap, I don't think. And then now he's a starting quarterback for the Colts. Sam Darnold, Jets, Panthers, Minnesota, now he's on Seattle. And Baker Mayfield, Browns, LA, Buccaneers. It's all these quarterbacks who've struggled and resurgence, and now they're playing good. So overall, the consensus is he's not a New York Giant with the first overall pick stature, the first round pick stature over his head anymore. He's free in a way.
I do think that's a fair point, right? Change of scenery could be good for so many players across all of sports, right? Especially, you can look at it this way too. Dable and Shane, inherited Daniel Jones from the old regime. So he wasn't even their first choice, and they kind of had to just live with it. So I do get that point from you, and I think that shouldn't go overlooked, right? A change of scenery could be so good for a guy, especially from an organization like the Colts, who put their chips all in on him and basically sat and benched their quote-unquote future in Anthony Richardson, at least who people thought was going to be their future, but they saw Daniel Jones having the ability to be better than that. So I think that confidence, you're right, goes a long way, and he's showing.
This does hurt for Giants fans, but there's nothing they could have done. As a fan, there's nothing you could have done. It just happened.
It had to have. The Giants had to move on. Daniel Jones had to move on. It was a look. This shit happens. But yes, appreciate the question, Deborah. We hope to hear from you again. Definitely love to hear questions from new fans across all spectrums. So definitely great question. I don't feel bad. Appreciate it.
Might I add, Deborah, Dean did say a couple, probably week 2, that this Daniel Jones will not stay the same, and he is actually going like this right now. But
I maintain my fact.
I obviously you do, because you're hating this.
I'm not hating. I do wish the best for Daniel Jones. I want that to be clear. I'm not a hater against Daniel Jones. I'm a hater against fans who say the Giants shouldn't have let him go.
Okay, that's fair. That is very fair.
I hate the stigma around it.
Okay, but that's going to stay if they make the playoffs with their first year.
I mean, their division booty hole, so there's a good chance that they will make the playoffs.
Anyway, we could go on about this forever. Deborah, thank you for the question. Don't ask more questions, even if it's about the Giants, the Colts. We don't know what fan you are, but we like having new fans overall with us.
Mm-hmm.
But now we got to go to Derek's bounce back. Our picks.
There's no hope on this bounce back, ladies and gentlemen.
I am hoping to God that I don't have an absolute shitter. And I will not make fun of any players after this week, like I did with Brian Thomas. Dean, would you like to start, or would you like me to start? You won a lot. I don't know if you want me to start.
You started off last week, so I'll make it fair. I will start off this week. And yes, but thank you I appreciate you saying I've won a lot. That's very nice and
Oh, trust me, I hated it. I fucking
Okay, cool.
hated it.
So, my first pick, I am fully hopping on the bandwagon of competitiveness. I'm fully hopping on the, overexcitement of Jackson Dart. I am going to take the Giants to put up another good performance. I do think they lose this one, but another good performance. I'm going to take the New York Giants plus 7.5, so they just have to lose by a touchdown or less.
Well, I don't know how we're going to do this. But I
Why?
I have the same thing.
That's okay. That's okay. Ride on my coattails of success. That's fine.
Oh, I hate you. I'm going to take the Giants. I do think they will lose, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think 7 points after the first game that they had against us is kind of crazy.
Very nice.
Damn it.
Very-
Fuck. That pisses me off.
Okay, it happens. Don't be sad, big boy. Anywho, I'm going to go to my second pick. I'm going to take a favorite this time around. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals, the Joe Flacco era of the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take them minus 6.5, so I'm going to take them to at least win by a touchdown against the New York Jets, who are absolutely fucking dog shit.
Didn't get your thoughts on the game?
I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm not gonna ever. I'm always a Jets fan, but like, I hate this team.
And that'll be the rest, and that'll be what I have to say about that.
That's fair. That's completely fair. I'm going to go with the team who is actually horseshit. I'm going to go with the Falcons taking on the Miami Dolphins. I'm taking the Falcons minus 7.5 because Tua Tagovailoa might be the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Let's not go that far. Jesus.
I haven't seen many quarterbacks. I haven't seen we're through 6 games. He has 10 picks.
Quick trivia for you, Derek. Quarterback in NFL history who has started at least 50 games. Which quarterback do you think has the worst win percentage of all time? They are currently playing.
Worst quarterback.
Worst win percentage of all time, at least 50 starts.
Daniel Jones.
No. Good guess, though. Very good guess.
Is he in that division?
No.
Is he in the conference?
No.
Oh, fuck me. He has to be in the league a while. He had probably a lot of shitty teams. I'm guessing Geno Smith.
No. Another good guess. I'm just going to give it to you. It is Justin Fields.
Nope.
Damn it, I was kind of close.
Yeah, you were teetering. You were teetering.
Yeah.
So I give you props there. Anyway, that was just a nice little tidbit, and that was a little dig towards Jets fans. Fuck you. Anyway, I am going to go with my third pick, right? The lines this week are very weird, if you want my honest opinion. There's a lot of big lines. This is the first week in a while that I've seen like a lot of 7+ lines, Derek. So it doesn't make it easy. However, I am going to stay with a hot hand, a hot team, even though they're away. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers. Plus 1.5. They are getting money, which is interesting considering I think they're better than the Texans, but I'm still going to take them plus 1.5.
That's fair. That's not a crazy take to make. Because the 49ers are kind of teetering on being scary again, with CMC being a god. But anyway, as you're 100% right, there is a lot of 7s. The spread is a lot. There's a lot of 7s, and I'm going to go with the Bills getting a bounce back win after losing back-to-back, one to the Patriots, one to the Falcons. The bye helping them out and absolutely eating the Panthers by at least 20. I'm alternate spread minus 20. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's fair. All right, I'm going to go into my lock. So obviously we cannot pick teams that we have picked previously, and we have to keep it rolling, right? So I'm going to go with another team that I don't think I would use after this week. There are a lot of division games after this week for them, but this is probably the weakest, quote unquote, the weakest opponent they have left. And we just did a whole segment on them. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts as my lock of the week. I have been fading them all year, and they have fucked me all year because they consistently cover the spread. So good for them, bad for me. I'm going to take them to win outright. They are 14-point favorites over the Tennessee Titans, but I'm just going to take them to win outright as my lock of the week.
Great pick. Hopping on Daniel Jones' coattails. It's fine. You want him back, it's fine.
Yep.
I'm going to go.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm going to go with my lock of the week, and my lock of the week is a team that is, you did mention this team, it is the Joe Flacco Bengals. They're going against another dog shit team who, might I add, is in the same division. The Jets and the fucking Dolphins, but I will pick the Bengals versus the Jets because I think the Jets stand no chance. Tyrod Taylor.
Leave it this week. Fucking Derek takes the team against the Jets. The Jets are going to find their first win.
I'll cry. At that point, I'll just fucking cry. I don't know.
Okay, but shut up. That does conclude our picks of the week. Everybody tune in next week to see Derek cry. That'll be fun. However, we do have to go to my favorite segment. Baller of the Week!
Very good. Very good.
Would you like to start or would you like me to start, Derek?
I would love for you to start.
Okay. My baller of the week, it's hard not to pick him. I'm going to stay in the sports realm. I'm going to stay in Major League Baseball. My ball of the week is going to be Shohei Ohtani. Arguably the greatest player in baseball right now. Probably one of the greatest players in sports right now. This guy pitched 6 scoreless innings with 10 Ks in an elimination game against Milwaukee to sweep 4-0. Not only that, in the same game that he pitched 6 scoreless innings, he hit 3 home runs. That is some fairy tale shit. That is some crap that people would take out of just a random story and talk to your children. That's some Babe Ruth shit right there, right? So we may never see this again, and I'm saying that as almost, a late 20-year-old, Derek saying that as a mid 20-year-old. We may never see this again from a Major League Baseball player, which is astonishing to say. But he is every ounce of the best player in baseball, at least from an overall standpoint. Maybe not hitting. You can argue other hitters like Judge. But overall, this guy is the best in baseball for what he is able to do. Pitching, hitting, just unbelievable. Shohei, good luck in your second consecutive World Series. I hate you, but I love watching you. Shohei Ohtani.
Very good baller of the week. It is odd, but this is kind of crazy how it happened. I'm going to stay in the same sport, baseball. I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to go to the AL, and I'm going to talk about one player who is the captain of that team, who is kind of broke a curse by wearing an Austin Matthews jersey in Game 7, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He has came up clutch for the Blue Jays this entire playoff series, especially in the last game, hitting a 2-run home run, I believe it was. In big moments. Was a solo shot?
George Springer hit a 3-run homer in the last game.
No, but I'm not. I'm just, he hit a home run that game. I promise you Vlad hit a home run. No, I'm not saying, I wasn't saying it was a key moment. I was just saying he hit a home run in the last game.
Yeah, I apologize. Continue.
Okay. So Vladimir Guerrero has been playing great. He's batted I believe it's 442, and he has 6 home runs and 12 RBIs. Very, very good. And ironically, the one person who's ahead of him in average is Aaron Judge. But, had to say that. But Vladimir Guerrero brought them to their first World Series in a long time. He's came up clutch in moments, as has George Springer. But Vladimir Guerrero's stats are just phenomenal this postseason. It can't go unseen. And overall, best of luck to the Blue Jays. And I hope they do beat the Dodgers.
Yep.
It's kind of weird having both sides. It never happens because it's never in this scenario. This is close to happening.
Yep.
Hey, it is what it is. Dean, would you like to close it out or you want me to do it?
This is all you.
All right.
I'll do it eventually, but I'm not feeling it today. I'm too happy to look at your face while I do it.
Okay. Thanks, man. All right. Anyway, like, subscribe, follow on TikTok, follow on Instagram, leave a comment. And obviously, if you want to get involved in our mailbag or if you want to just ask us questions, leave comments on TikToks, Instagram, even in the comments of the YouTube videos, the short videos, or even on the podcast. We'll look at them. We'll talk about them on the podcast, and you guys will have fun. Overall, next week we'll be back for more all sports. Bring it to all sports because all sports are coming back. And Dean, any last words you want to say, making fun of me or anything?
I think it's all downhill here from Derek, right? He went 1-3 this week in picks. I think he goes 0-4 next week. And I think it's just going to be a spiraling out of control sort of thing. And I'm looking forward to it, everybody.
Sounds about my life. Let's go. Peace.